Thank you. I was really pleased that Rudy invited me here. But the whole quest of my book was really to try and prove that the origins of punk were in Warhol's factory, and then show that how that cast a long shadow, if you like, over New York and London. As I understand, Düsseldorf is the Warhol city here in Germany, because you have great connections with Warhol. So it seemed really relevant for me to come here, and I'm really excited about trying to put together some sort of exhibition next year and an event around this. So that's why I'm here, really. I have got a presentation, but my presentation is very simple. It's just nice pictures and some quotes from people. So it just gives me an excuse to tell you lots of stories, if that's all right. Well, I want to call this Walk on the Wild Side because obviously it's a Lou Reed song, but it's a Lou Reed song about the Warhol superstars. Lee Black Childers originally came from Kansas, actually, and he arrived in New York, and the first street he walked down was Christopher Street. It was the place where all the superstars, the transvestites, from Warhol's factory and the whole transvestite sort of community used to sort of peacock up and down the street. And the first person that Lee met was Jackie Curtis, who was one of the superstars in the factory. And you can imagine with Lee, this was like really exciting. He had a camera around his neck. He had come from Kansas where not a lot was going on. Suddenly he was in this world, and Lee was gay. So suddenly, you know, it's not great being gay in Kansas in the late 60s. So suddenly he'd come to his spiritual home, and Jackie took him along to Warhol's factory and introduced him to Andy. And Andy Andy looked at his camera around his neck and he said, "And what do you do?" And he said, "Well, I'd like to be a photographer." And Andy had this great line. He just said to, "Look, don't want to be a photographer. Just tell people you are a photographer. You say you're a photographer, and they'll believe it." So with that, he became one of the photographers in the factory. Lee's been a very good friend to me. I wrote this book with him, actually, this one with Debbie Harry on the cover. Interestingly, we found that under Lee's bed while we were writing the book, that picture. And in fact, when Lee sadly died, we then found 9,000 prints that he'd never printed. And a lot of the prints I'm going to show you were never printed. This one of Warhol is actually a print that was never actually printed during his lifetime. And you can see here, it's called Legendary Moments. The exhibition I've just finished in London, where I showed some of these pictures for the first time. But there's lots of these prints that we haven't seen yet or shown. When we come and do this, hopefully next autumn, here, we want to show a lot of pictures for the first time. And the pictures I've held back are these pictures of the superstars, because I really want to show those here, not the Warhol pictures.